I'm Kylie.
I'm Michael.
I'm Lainey. And I'm Maddie. And you're watching Youth Capital Commentary.
Aloha, my name is Lainey Torres and I'm here with King Intermediate and this is Mayor Hannemann. So Mayor Hannemann, what brings you here today?
Well, I'm here today because this is a very important time for all of us. Every year in January, the legislature convenes and they're all about making sure that they pass laws that will be good for the people of Hawaii. And from my vantage point as a former mayor, I want to make sure that we have our input into the process. I now head up the largest private tourism organization in the state called the Hawaii Lodging and Tourism Association. So we have several issues before the legislature that we'd like to see them address. So that's one reason. Secondly, there's a lot of people that we helped get elected, both personal friends of mine, so I wanted to come by and wish them best wishes.
Thank you. Is there anything that you wanted to say to the community?
Well, I just want to say I think it's important that everybody participate in the democratic process. Sometimes they think my vote doesn't count, my mana'o will be ignored. But, you know, this is why this building was built. This is why we have a legislative session. It's important that you make your voices heard. So you start first with the representatives in your district. If everybody can remember who their state representative is, their state senator is, and at the city level who their council member is, of course, the mayor and the governor, I think it'll make for a better democratic process because every voice counts. And I think the younger that you can start at this, so I'm very pleased to talk to you, Lainey, and your fellow students there and classmates at King Intermediate School. Get involved early. Don't wait till you're 18 years old before you get involved because that's when you can vote. Do it early in the process, then it becomes habit forming because we need to hear from you. This generation, it's all about your future. So you have to make sure that those who are in office are going to respond and do good for you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, my name is Madison Kong. Today I'm here with Danny. So, Danny, how's your day so far?
Oh, it's fantastic. Just enjoying the opening of our legislature. Yeah.
What brings you here today?
Partially to just be part of the democratic process, that we can celebrate the start of our legislative season. I'm also a supporter of Native Hawaiian causes. So down on the rotunda, as you see the people down there, I'm supporting them, as well as early childhood education program.
Is there any last messages you want to say to community?
I think it's really important that we support early childhood education. It really is the profession before all professions, and Hawaii has a dire need for more supply of early learning spaces.
Aloha, my name is Michael Quinn from King Intermediate, and I'm here with Senator Jarrett Keohokalole from District 24. Senator, what are some of the problems that your district is facing?
Homelessness, definitely adapting to sea level rise and climate change. We're already dealing with things like king tides in our community. And also it's just really expensive to live in KΑ'NEʻOHE. There's a lot of pressure on our side. And so I think we need a lot of change at the state level in order to make it easier for folks to live and raise kids in KA'NEʻOHE.
What are some of your plans for this legislative session?
So I'm the chair of the Committee on Technology. Like I said, a lot of things need to be changed in state government, and many of those things revolve around aging state systems that need to adapt to, our more modern day technology is the easiest way to put it. A lot of our government offices and systems run off of technology from the 90s even, and so the way we make lives better for our constituents in KA'NEʻOHE is by allowing the government to operate their programs more efficiently so that there's more money available to help people out. And so that's some of the big projects that I'll be working on this year.
As a resident of KΑ'NEʻOHE and graduate of King Intermediate, what are some of your plans for our community?
In particular, we have lots of aging schools. You folks go to King, so you know King is built right on the water, and so it's rusting out. We put some money in a couple of years ago to fix the bathrooms in the back building, the science building. I don't even remember what letter building that is, the science building. And so we'll be working on Castle High School and some of the other elementary schools that are dealing with the need for new facilities and dealing with the change in population and some overcrowding issues and things like that.
Aloha, I'm Torres here from King Intermediate. So Micky, what brings you here today to the state capitol?
So Hawaii People's Fund is a part of today's 2019 legislative opening because it's an important place for the engaged community to come together and really to hold our lawmakers accountable and be seen and be heard. Today in particular, the Hawaii People's Fund is here to support Hui Aloha Aina Momona's 2019 Kui at the Capitol. There's hundreds of young people here today engaging in culturally relevant practice, talking about food sustainability, talking about preservation of culture and ways of life. And the Hawaii People's Fund is here to support Hui Aloha Aina Momona today, as well as to reach out to the larger community about the work that we do.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the community or to help?
Well, I definitely want to plug that our applications for our grants are coming out in the middle of February. From February 15th to March 31st, we're encouraging any organization in Hawaii that is engaging in social justice work. That can be anything from voters' rights to Aina issues, to women's rights. Anywhere that there's injustice and there's an organization working to address that, we give out small grants to that. We're completely community funded, public philanthropy, and that access is open to people who are doing the important work to make Hawaii a better place. So that's a big message that we're trying to get out today.
Hi, my name is Maskin Kong. Today I'm here with Senator Riviere from District 23. So, Senator, what are your plans for this legislative session?
Well, thanks. There's a lot of big issues coming back and a lot of new issues. The legalizing marijuana is on the slate, the minimum wage discussions, but more importantly, I want to try to focus on issues relative to our district. Mm-hmm. There's some issues in Kahana Valley that we need to talk about. There's some infrastructure needs that we need, and there's just some other general good government bills that I'm going to be introducing this year.
And speaking of issues, what issues are your district facing?
Well, we have severe coastal erosion up in Pupukea side. You know, every summer we see the houses under threat in the last few years. And on the windward side, we've got the road falling into the sea. So those are big issues. We have big issues with loss of agriculture land. There's a lot of people buying the land, speculating on it, and trying to turn it into housing instead of food production. And I'm on the side that really wants to promote food and local food production for, the residents.
And lastly, do you have any last messages you want to say to your community?
Well, we have a fantastic community. It is my privilege to serve this community, and we just keep winning. There's issues. When we stand together, we get so much done. And our district is the rural district that is beautiful on purpose. It's not an accident. It's because everybody in our community stands up and stands together to bring the quality of life that we enjoy.
Torres here from King Intermediate today, and here we have Liz. Hi Liz, so how has your day been so far here?
It's been a pretty busy day meeting all the different legislatures, but yeah, it's been a pretty good day.
So what is public health?
So public health is really anything in the field of promoting health or protecting against disease. So it can be anything from our state epidemiologists to our educational institutions, things like that.
So what are you planning to do in the field of public health?
I'm looking to go into our graduate program in epidemiology and maybe study infectious disease, especially in the maternal child health populations with refugees or migrants.
Thank you for your time.
Aloha, I'm Kylie Rose from King Intermediate here with Representative Scot Matayoshi from District 49. So, Representative, what are your plans for this legislative session?
Well, I've got a number of plans. I mean, I'm brand new, so this is kind of my first legislature. One of the main things I want to do is just learn as much as I can, learn the process, try to be as respectful as I can, and learn as much as I can from those who have been here a long time. But I do have a couple of priorities I want to push. I was a public school teacher. I taught middle school science out in Nanakuli. So education is one of my top priorities, trying to get reduce classroom sizes and get more support for teachers, especially in hard-to-fill schools. And another one of my priorities is housing. We've got a huge housing crisis on our hands, and I'm hoping to push through some legislation to really increase the amount of affordable units and just kind of increase the number of units in general. I think if we build a lot more houses, then the housing price will naturally go down through kind of just supply and demand.
And what are some challenges you face as a new representative?
I mean, I think the biggest challenge I face is not having done this before. So, I mean, and you folks know, whenever you're trying something for the first time, it's really a learning experience. But I think it's just going to be important for me to be as humble as I can, to be as observant as I can, to try to learn as fast as I can. So I think one of my biggest challenges is really going to be learning how to do this job well so that I can continue to do a good job for my constituents.
Hi, my name is Madison Kong. Today I'm here with Laurie Field. So, Laurie, how was your day so far?
This is a really great day. It's the opening day of the state legislature, which means we're going to have a lot of opportunities to do some really good things for our community. And in particular, for us, we're concerned about women's health, and we're hoping that this session will help us improve the quality of health care that women across Hawaii receive.
What brings you here today?
We are here to talk to our legislators about women's health, and in particular reproductive health care, our rights and justice, and make sure that they understand the issues at hand and the threats that we're facing and how they can help fight back and make sure that we can exercise our rights in the future.
Do you have any last messages you want to say to the community?
I am really excited to have with me a number of students from the University of Hawaii and HPU, and we are really excited to be working with them, and we hope that young people will join with us and them to help work towards a healthier future.
Aloha, I'm Kylie Rose from King Intermediate, and I'm here with
Renee.
So, what brings you to the Capitol today?
Climate change.
And what do you plan to tell the people about climate change?
Yeah. Well, as you know, the UN, the IPCC put out a report in October, and it said that we have 12 short years to do something about climate change, or basically all hell is going to break loose. And I just went to a meeting on Monday, yesterday, 2 days ago. They told us that, the Arctic, it's melting up there, and it's irreversible. They can't stop it anymore. It's irreversible. Greenland is melting, and if we reach 1.8 degrees Celsius, we will have Greenland melting irreversibly. You cannot stop it. The Antarctic is melting already, and that it could put a meter more of sea level rise. Actually, in the past, the temperature that it would be by then, it put 20 feet of sea level rise on Earth. That's what our Earth's history says, and that is something we really have to stop. When the UN says we have to stop it now, what they're talking about is having a livable world, a world for you to be able to live decently. And It's just, we cannot have all hell break loose. We've seen what it looks like with the hurricanes, with the wildfires, with the floods. And I know we have kids and grandkids. That stuff scares the bejesus out of them. And we have to do something. And what the UN is saying now, we can do something now. In the next 12 years, if we act, we can change it around now, and we have to. And that's why I'm here. And the good news is there are things we can do. There are things we can do, and we know how to do it. I mean, yeah, they're working on renewable energies, and that's really good. Renewable energies prevents us from putting CO2 into the atmosphere. Yeah, renewable energy, cars, whatever's right. We don't put as much CO2 into the atmosphere. But the problem is, even if you had 100% renewable today, it would take 100 years for that CO2 to come down. So you have to do something else. You have to pull CO2 out of the atmosphere. And forests and ag and all the vegetation, what do they use for photosynthesis? CO2. So all the forests right now on Earth, they pull out almost 40%. They pull CO2 out almost 40% out of the atmosphere. Now what we know we need to do is, we have the renewables. We have to help Mother Nature, and we can do it by planting more forests. Stop deforesting. Stop cutting down trees. Plant trees. You know what they did in Africa? They planted 8,000 kilometers, that's over 8,000 miles, across the whole continent, the whole darn continent. They're building a great green wall, they call it, of trees across the continent, 15 kilometers deep. And you know what? It is reversing the desertification, the creation of a bigger desert, Sahara Desert, that's called desertification. It's reversing it. Where they have this great green wall of trees, it's reversing it. Wells that went dry, they now have water in them. People that could not do agriculture, they now can do agriculture because the tree has, it has photosynthesis and moisture and all that, makes the ground moist. So you have trees. There are trees being planted. China has deployed 60,000 soldiers to plant trees. They've already planted 83 million acres of trees, and they're going for it. And the reason, and it's country after country after country is doing this, the reason they do it is because trees are such a powerful way to sequester, to pull carbon out of the atmosphere and put it in the ground, and that's what we need to do. We know how to plant trees. We know how to do that. We know how to do renewable energy, and we can do regenerative ag, which does the same thing, only it creates food for us also. Regenerative ag also regenerates the soil, makes it more healthy, and we know how to do that. That's the way we used to do agriculture before chemicals. You crop rotation. The cows and the livestock, they poop and they pee on the ground. It creates very, very good soil. So we need to do that. We can do that. That's why I'm here. Because the state of Hawaii needs to put money into that. Oh, have time for one last thing? The last thing is that we also have to redo the way we travel, because that's a big part of emissions, yeah? CO2 emissions. So if other people are going to all electric buses, so the city and the state have to go to all electric buses. LA wants it to be free. So you just get on the bus, you get off the bus, you get on the bus, get off the bus. And you have to have bus-only lanes where the bus is going whoosh, and the cars could be all gridlocked. I don't know if you remember the time when the zipper lane broke, and I was on the bus, and we were just in this bus only. Nobody got on our lane. The bus was going along and they were walking. We just saw all of these cars, gridlock. That's what bus rapid transit, electrified buses on bus only lanes would do, and it would keep CO2 out of the atmosphere. Those three things, we can do it. We know how to do it. And we just, our elected officials have to protect us. They have to protect our lives. You know, they have to keep this planet livable by doing all over the world those three things. And other countries are doing it. We need to do it too.
Aloha, my name is Lainey Torres, and I'm here from King Intermediate. And today I have Representative Cynthia Thielen from District 50, Kailua Kaneohe Bay. So, Representative, what is your stance on the rail?
That is an absolutely perfect question, Lainey, and the reason it's your generation and the generation after you that are going to be paying for this. I think rail must stop at Middle Street and be redesigned to avoid the floodplain that it's presently scheduled to go through. Kaka'ako and going on over to Ala Moana is going to be underwater in portions. This means that if the city continues to enforce building the rail there, then they're going to have to retrofit all of that area to be able to keep that route dry so people will actually ride the rail without having to go put on wading boots to go through the puddles. It makes no sense to have it go the way it's scheduled from Middle Street on to Ala Moana. I'm pushing to move the rail inland to either King Street or Baratania Street, and then you could have the associated transit-oriented development with it that will be on dry land. And then you also could be having rail run to UH, which is where people want to go, or to Waikiki. So I think that the way it's designed now is going to be a disaster for your generation and the generation to follow you. It's going to be a sparsely used system that has a lot of flooding problems. The associated development won't occur because banks aren't going to lend for people to build condos and other structures in what will be a flooded area. So it's time to think smart, and so far the city administration is not doing that. We at the state, I hope, are going to be able to weigh in to say rail cannot go in its present waterfront route. It's too environmentally stupid, just stupid and costly. So your question is perfect. It relates to your generation. It relates to the next generation after that. And if we want a rail that people are going to actually ride, get it inland, run it to UH. This is where the people want to go.
Do you have any last messages for your community?
Our community has a lot of housing issues that we're facing now, and it's because of the illegal rentals, the whole house rentals, through things like Airbnb. And it takes away housing from the local folks. So we have a greater number of local folks just giving up and moving out of state. And that's sad. That's sad. I mean, that's not what we want Hawaii to be. I'm so glad you're doing this. This is a wonderful thing to go around and get the opinions of different legislators, and then you can air this, and we hope the discussions will be out there with people saying, hey, that rail issue, I didn't know that land was going to be flooded. Well, it is. Go look at all the research of the scientists, all the reports. Within 20 years, you're going to have serious flooding there. And that's not a place to position a rail.
Aloha, my name is Lainey Torres from King Intermediate, and here we have Bob. Hi, Bob. So how has your day been so far at the Capitol?
Oh, hi, Lainey. It's very interesting. I've been here before. I'm a big supporter of Senator Kidani, and I've been in the gallery like I was today. I've sat on the Senate floor before, and I love watching the process. I love watching how they do and how they vote and the things that happen. It's very, very interesting.
So, do you have any do you have any messages that you would like to send to the community?
No, but I like the idea. I said no, but I guess I mean yes. I like the idea that there are kids here like you doing this, because in my mind, you can learn a lot from just walking around and talking to people, probably even more than you can from a textbook. So I think this is a wonderful experiment. It's really good. Keep it up.
Aloha, my name is Michael Quinn from King Intermediate, and I'm here with Representative DeCoite of District 13. Representative, what are some of the problems that you face in your district?
Oh, where do I start? No, of course, education is a big one for us. Homelessness, making sure that we have sufficient funds to cover a lot of the necessary priorities that are put before us. One of the bigger ones for me is water issues that we're having in East Maui water, as well as making sure we can continue to grow food to feed the people in the state of Hawaii.
What is your stance on agriculture?
My stance on agriculture is that I support all agriculture. I think anybody we can get to grow food or grow and be diversified. We have our challenges. Just trying to get funding and trying to get people to get started is a big issue. Cost of land has been a problem, and making sure those lands are being able to have water to support its farms and agriculture going forward.
What are some of your plans for this legislative session?
Some of my plans include, one, I now sit on education, which I really like. A lot of the rural areas that I belong to have lack of funds, lack of teachers, lack of support. I believe our teachers need as much help as they can. Funding, the schools are being challenged with air conditioning still yet. I believe the governor will play an important role this year, this session, in trying to help us to seek those fundings. I'm hoping that the legislative body will be a major part in participating and supporting the goal of going forward and the goal of our food initiatives so that we can continue to feed the people of Hawaii.
Thank you for your time. My name is Michael Quinn for Youth Capital Commentary.
Aloha, my name is Kylie Rose. I'm here from King Intermediate with
Rachel LaDrig.
And what brings you to the Capitol today?
Today I'm here representing for the Hawaii Farmers Union United, Waianae chapter. I'm also representing for Kahumana Organic Farm and Cafe out in Waianae. And we're here just to touch base with some of the representatives and kind of show up for our food and a food sovereignty movement. Yeah, just sharing space here and kind of supporting.
And do you have any messages for the Alela viewers?
Yeah, in my case it would be, understanding, connecting back to our food. And really, this is what this is all about here today is understanding the story of where your food comes from and how we can be more responsible and support our growers and our farmers here on this island so we can keep our money here and our spirit, our mana here. So, yeah.
Thank you for your time. This is Kylie Rose for Youth Capital Commentary.
Aloha, my name is Michael Quinn, and I'm here with
KD Segura.
So, what brings you here to the Capitol today?
So I'm here to support my Kanaka relations and then also here for the ACLU of Hawaii.
Do you have any other messages for Alela viewers?
I would say aloha aina. And with this upcoming session, I hope that really great things happen for everybody here in Hawaii. And also just to keep in mind murdered and missing Indigenous women here and internationally.
Aloha, my name is Lainey Torres and I'm from King Intermediate, and here I have Representative Elyssa Kitagawa from District 48. Representative, as a lady who grew up in the Windward Side, what is your vision for District 48 this session?
Well, having grown up in KΑNEʻOHE, I've seen a lot of the changes that is happening to our communities. So things like increase in homelessness, just the increase in, mental health issues, substance abuse, the lack of affordable housing. So my hope is that I can do my part to try to help alleviate those problems that we have in the community, but also on the state level, and to really try to actually also engage with the community on a greater level. So my background's in education, so education is a passion area for me. So I hope to be able to support the schools that are in our district, like King Intermediate School, and to also do what I can to support the students and the next generation that's coming up in the community.
As a first-time representative, do you have any messages that you'd like to share to your community?
I think what I'd just like to share is just that I'm very thankful and humbled and honored to have the opportunity to serve District 48, which includes KΑNEʻOHE all the way to Waiahole. And just that, I'm going to do my best and I'm going to do my part to try to make this state a better place, to make the community a better place. And really that I want to just let the constituents know that our office is always available to help with whatever issues there might be, whether it's state or city or some other issue. We'll be able to try to connect you with resources and to really just do our part to make people's lives a little bit better. So that's my hope from being in office.
Thank you so much for your time. Aloha, my name is Lainey Torres and I'm here from King Intermediate, and here today I have Mr. Kim. So how's your day so far at the state capitol, Mr. Kim?
Great, really exciting. There's a lot of stuff going on.
So what brings you here today?
So I was the campaign manager for Representative Okimoto, Val Okimoto, and came here to support her, was able to participate in the opening ceremonies, and kind of just partake of this environment here today.
Is there anything that you'd like to share out to the community to give them a heads up or help?
Yeah, absolutely. So being involved with the campaign for Representative Okimoto, it became very clear that there's a lack of civic engagement in Hawaii, in our state, and it's something that really needs to change. I mean, people don't realize that their vote really carries a lot of weight, and that's how you can make this community, the communities that we live in, make this state that we live in a better place.
Aloha, I'm Kylie Rose from King Intermediate here with Senator Laura Thielen from District 25. So, Senator, what are your plans for this legislative session?
Well, I'm one of the co-conveners for our Women's Legislative Caucus, which is a group of all the women legislators, House and Senate, Republicans and Democrats. And we focus on legislation that helps women and children and families. And for many years, I've been focused on reducing violence against women, and so I've worked on legislation and programs around that area.
And what measures do you think should be taken to help with the domestic violence problem?
Well, it's going to take a lot of work with a lot of people, and so we've been working closely with the judges at the judiciary to make sure that when people come in for hearings or trials, that they feel safe and that people understand, what's going on and can help them. We work with advocates to make sure the programs are funded and that people can get support and be safe. And then we look at legislation to make sure that when there is some problems, something, people can step in early, and maybe there can be classes to teach family members how to interact and disagree without having violence, so that way we can keep the families safe. And it's especially important for children, because children who grow up in families where there is violence are more likely to become violent themselves or to become victims themselves. So we want to make sure to nip this in the bud as early as possible.
And do you have any last messages for our community?
I'm really happy that you guys come here every year and do the interviews. I think it's really important that you stay in reporting because we need reporters, because you keep politicians and everybody very honest, and that's good.
Thank you for your time, Senator.
Thank you for watching Youth Capital Commentary.